But I believe we'll just go ahead and get started with Paige.
Hey coach, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. You guys have an incredibly busy week coming up. You guys have a four-game stretch. How have you guys prepared for this? And then is there any shift in players' mentalities to prepare for something like this?
No, I think players love come game time. So a lot of these players that come in play these kind of schedules in their high school season, their summer AAU season. So, we feel like with what we've done in our preseason practices along with the summer, we've prepared them for this type of, a lot of games in a few days. So you look from Sunday, with the two double game and then it's going to be a busy week for us, but they would much rather play than practice. So it's a chance for us to learn as we go through game minutes.
Okay, Stu. Stu, I think you're on mute.
All right.
There
Now I
you
think we
go.
got it. We
There
got it. All right. This Zoom stuff is still new to me.
you
Uh, we've heard coaches talk about a lot. You find out about your team. I don't know if it's practice. I don't know if it's games. I've heard a lot of coaches say the game is you really see how they will behave in that real type situation. You can't simulate it. Is that true?
I definitely think it matters. It's hard to simulate a game environment, especially home and away. I think your best players, they always seem to respond. You can certainly see who those are more in a game environment. It's really important that every practice, you practice like you play, the old adage, and I believe that. But I also think come game time that your level of play, your level of poise, your level of preparation has to take over. So it's important to be in game environments as much as we can.
Okay, Paige.
This team has received a lot of well-deserved excitement, and then this past week, you guys had at Alabama A&M four players. They finished in double figures in a tough environment. What has the message been for the team so far?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we had great balance. We had some tremendous bench play, from Diana Collins. Essence Cody had, I think, 9 and 7, so she was close to being that fifth player. It was a near sellout. I mean, it was an incredible environment. And, there aren't very many road environments that we will see in the SEC that were much better than that. And so we had a lot of Bama fans in the stands, and it was just great for North Alabama girls basketball in the state. I think it's important to try and play more in-state schools. A lot of the times they won't play us, so credit Alabama A&M. And it was the second game of a doubleheader. So it was really a special night for us. I love the way our kids responded with the toughness and the grit, and it was a raucous environment, so it was good for us.
We'll go back to Stu.
Coach, I don't know if you go into a season thinking about like rotation and things like that. I know 11 players have played the first two games. Is that something you just kind of figure out as you go, like how big the rotation is, or do you go in with kind of a picture, an idea? I know you want everybody to have confidence when they're thrown into action, but what are your thoughts on this team and the makeup and possibly how many on a regular basis rotation wise?
Well, I think we're still trying to figure our rotation out. I think putting them in the environments that they've been able to get minutes. But the bottom line, I mean, you got to have production with your minutes. And so I think practice, again, we talked about the difference between games and practice. It's going to be interesting to see how our rotation shakes out. But definitely there's an opportunity for us to go deep. We're trying to be more of a pressing team, more of a pressure team. And so we're going to have our young kids grow up very quickly. I told them last night, like, we're no longer a freshman. Like, you've got to become a sophomore. Sophomore has to become a junior. Junior has to become a senior. Senior becomes a fifth year, and a fifth year becomes a sixth year. And it's the production from our bench is a concern, and it's not necessarily something that always shows up in the stat sheet at spacing. Am I rebounding every time? Am I sprinting back in my transition responsibilities on both sides of the ball? So we continue to put them in a game environment to see how they're going to respond. And you have to produce and respond. So I think we're trying to help our bench develop And I think over time that you'll see our rotation evolve. It's too early in the season, I think, for anyone to decide what your rotation might be.
We'll do two more. Paige, coming back to you.
Essence was a huge part of the team last year, and she had an incredible freshman season. Can you just talk about her development from last year to this year and what part she has grown the most?
Well, I think it's how hard that she works beyond practice. She's understood that, I can't just practice and play. I'm going to have to go a little bit above and beyond. That's not just with the ball in my hands. That's everything from my rest, my time management, my nutrition, what I'm doing in the training room, what I'm doing with my strength coach. So I think just from an overall development and maturity standpoint, I have seen so much growth and I'm so proud of her. She struggled to start the game last night, but you saw her in the third and the fourth probably have enough of it. And she's got to understand, to continue to grow and be physical without the foul. And I'll say this, that's one thing. Our five collectively, the 40 minutes that go between CB and Gianna and Essence needs to be more dominating. They're a little bit passive and casual, and we've got to improve that. And Troy's going to be a great test for them because they go three deep at that position. They're physical, they're going to rebound, and they're going to come out and really get after our five players. And so we're going to see about some toughness and some grit from our five collectively on Sunday.
All right, last one. Either of you? No? Alrighty, thank you.
Hey, thanks guys for zooming in. Have a great weekend and roll Tide.